If you want to think of it in terms of the Titanic, we've managed to turn that boat 180 degrees, and it has been a huge transformation for us.
The biggest change is around the energy level. There are just so many people who are so revved up.
People are really upbeat about bring your own device.
What we were hearing from principals and teachers was that it was so effective that really we said we have a moral obligation to ensure that everyone has that opportunity. Our goal is to get everybody out with a diploma.
When we brought in BYOD, it was a system change. It was a cultural change. It was big.
I think that there's tremendous momentum behind this. The movement is underway and there's nothing that's going to stop it.
I've been Director of Education for the last 3.5 years after 31 years with the board. 3 years ago, our senior team started looking at the McKinsey report, those countries and districts that are moving from good to great, great to excellence. We recognized that the world was changing. We were hearing all of the statistics about students who would graduate having at least 8 jobs, at least 3 of them in different fields. We were looking at the growth of technology, and we were seeing some of our results flatline. So we talked about what we could do that would both capture those learnings, but also capture the energy that we felt was pent up in our schools. It was pent up because, for the most part, we had been directing from the center. It was pent up because of a natural evolution of technology.
We decided that if we were going to shift our use of technology and our vision for technology, we didn't want it to be a top-down shift, but we really wanted it to have a strong voice from the leadership at the middle, but also a grassroots feel to it as well.
Prior to us having that conversation, the normal way that we would hear about a new initiative within the board or the way change would generally be managed would be that the senior admin team would put together a rollout plan, and it would be very sort of managed and prescribed from the central board office outward.
Up until 2 years ago, April, we would have been doing what lots of other school boards were doing, technology in the hands of teachers and only very limited student use. And then 3 things happened. The first thing was that Jennifer Jensen wrote the report for the ministry, which we all read and became aware of. We then went to the UPSOA conference and listened to Chris Kennedy from BC, and then Will Richardson. And then after that conference, we put together a team of 11 principals and sent them to Vancouver for 4 days to visit schools and to find out what they did, how they did it, and how they developed their 21st century vision.
One of them was going down to Clintondale High in Troy, Michigan, to see what that flipped classroom looked like. And Greg Green, who's the principal there, welcomed us very warmly, spent an entire day with us, and allowed us to really get an inside view of how he turned his school around in a period of only 18 months.
And we brought it all back together and we created a little report that we presented to the senior admin team here at the district, and just to let them know that what we saw out there were some really exciting and dramatic changes in the way teaching was happening. Almost immediately there was a committee formed at the board level. We put teachers, we put vice principals, we put principals to take a look at what all this meant. The agendas were very unstructured, a departure maybe from prior models, and you could see the energy level in the teachers that were in the room.
The director's office was also getting very excited about what they were hearing and approached our trustees about Peel becoming a board that supported Bring Your Own Device, BYOD. The trustees agreed to commit $7 million of our reserves to put wireless in every school.
Then we did, on April 5th, we did a huge showcase event. So we had over 200 people. The energy in the room was phenomenal.
When we had Will Richardson come up to kind of kick off our initiative, at the end our director thanked him and then kind of did the big reveal that we're going to give you the tools that you and your students need to be successful. And there was a spontaneous standing ovation.
Success from an IT standpoint is to make the technology seamless and completely transparent. So it shouldn't be something that they have to do. It should just be on. It should automatically be available to them. and it shouldn't require any extra steps. Every minute lost trying to deal with technology in a classroom is a minute you're not going to get back. So if you're going to introduce technology in the manner that we are in Peel, we have to make sure that it's smooth, it's completely seamless, it's a non-event. And that's something that in everything that we're doing, we're trying to make this just work. So that's really our focus. We look at those schools that are not adopting technology very well, and we spend a lot more time in those schools from an IT standpoint, because we realize that that's probably due to a comfort level. It's just not there with teachers. So we try and come in, we try and make sure that they understand what the technology is supposed to be used for, how to use it, and there to support them as needed.
I think number one, what we are seeing is increased student engagement. We still have to have sound instruction, but we're using a tool that really ignites the student, that will get the student here and not want to miss a class. And then, of course, your quality expectations and your standards are going to be as high as they always were. But I do believe that we are going to surpass where we were.
What our teachers are saying is that they now feel a renewed sense of energy because they can now be more creative as well. And our graduation rate right now is at 89%, up in 7 years from 76%. So it's significant.
What Peel has done really well is support the implementation of change. And so there are always lots of support mechanisms in place. Now I think they're managing the supports around the conversation as opposed to predetermining what the conversation should be.
What I think was critical was in us letting go, having the center let go and allowing that to drive our decision, and then working with schools to align that work.
When you look at even where we were 3 years ago and where we're going now with the ability, with the BYOD, I don't think we can even imagine.
We have many staff here, all doing a great job, but I think to become excellent, we have to have everybody believing and feeling that they are valued, they're respected, and that they make a critical difference to our organization. When they do that, of course, kids succeed.